Arabella, an aspiring fashion designer with more dreams than money in her pocket, goes for coffee at Marilyn's house. Marilyn is a writer married to Ross, a rich, arrogant man with a PhD in how to humiliate your wife before 9 a.m. Between sips of coffee, Ross decides to remind her that she hasn't written in days. It insinuates she only married him for his money. Marilyn stays silent until suddenly Ross starts coughing. Arabella yells for someone to call an ambulance, and they watch Ross die. But hold on, don't condemn anyone yet, especially Arabella, until you know how we got here. 1 month earlier, Arabella was trying to break into fashion, but her designs were being rejected faster than an invitation to a Saturday morning meeting. After her latest no, her agent Ian suggested she work for other designers or maybe become a personal shopper. Reluctantly, Arabella went to an interview. There, she met Marilyn, who didn't want to see her designs. She wanted Arabella to sell herself as a professional. The interview was anything but successful, and Arabella walked out thinking she'd never see that woman again. Spoiler, she was very, very wrong. Back at her apartment, Arabella and her roommate Safi met Marcus, a plumber who, let's just say, didn't only fix the pipes. Safi had a special talent for awakening Arabella's wild side, but something was still missing to complete her transformation. The next day, to everyone's surprise, Marilyn called saying she'd gotten the job. And that's when Arabella's life took a turn straight into an adults-only reality show. On her very first visit to Marilyn's house, Arabella realized Ross was a professional womanizer, and Marilyn used her commanding demeanor to make up for a lack of affection. Things got weird fast. Arabella developed a physical fascination with Marilyn, which escalated into intimate spying and personal touches when no one was looking. One day, Marilyn directly invited her to join the game and become her loyal little puppy. Arabella agreed, and the partnership turned into a bizarre mix of jealousy and secret encounters, including the time Marilyn took her to a BDSM club, passing her off as her daughter just to get in. There, Arabella felt the sting of jealousy watching other men touch Marilyn. When they got home, they finally got together. Things turned dangerous when Arabella saw Ross talking to a mysterious man. She thought about telling Marilyn, but kept it to herself. Soon after, Marilyn showed up injured, and together they planned a morning that would change everything. During breakfast, Ross began to collapse, and while he was dying, the two of them decided to have sex right in front of him. Yeah, not exactly in the first aid handbook. When the police arrived, Arabella made up a story about a hooded man who might have wanted to harm Ross. Later, that man appeared and revealed he was a private investigator hired by Ross himself who suspected Marilyn. He warned Arabella, "Be careful. Marilyn always holds the power." Arabella didn't think much of it until Marilyn revealed her endgame. She had used Arabella to kill Ross and now wanted to finish the story with a hammer. At that point, honestly, I wouldn't have waited for the scene to turn into Kill Bill. I would have jumped out the nearest window. In the end, Arabella was sentenced to 6 years in prison, while Marilyn played the victim. During her time behind bars, Arabella had time to reflect and realized her true calling wasn't being a designer, it was being Marilyn's pet. When she got out, guess who was waiting to pick her up? That's right, Marilyn, as if it were some kind of romantic reunion. By the way, the whole movie was shot in just 12 days, proving that sometimes drama and romance don't need much time to ignite, just like Arabella and Marilyn's story. And one thing I find interesting, the narrative shows how emotional manipulation can turn an ordinary person into an accomplice in something they never imagined doing. And that's scarier than any crime scene. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.